This 2-week period can uncover the basic strength and weakness of a unit and point the direction which additional training should take. National Guard units were equally active. In late August, various units of the National Guard's 43rd Division set out from their home states of Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Vermont to rendezvous for joint training at Camp Drum, New York. Here again, a sense of urgency was present. Time was not to be wasted. Anything these men could learn now might save a lot of time and perhaps a lot of lives later on. And something else was present too, a sense of the past, a sense of the history and traditions of the National Guard. Its instant response in other times of crisis. Its record of distinguished service wherever and whenever it served. All of these things were present at Camp Drum in the late summer of 1961, as the National Guard began to flex its muscles and marshal its strength to meet whatever the future might bring. All men entering the Army bring with them a long list of needs and requirements. Requirements which can only be met by a speed up of the nation's economy. More combat boots will have to be turned out by the shoe factories of Massachusetts and New Hampshire. More cloth for uniforms will have to be turned out by the cotton mills of Virginia and North Carolina. More vehicles of all types will have to be produced by the automobile factories of Detroit, South Bend, and Toledo. More signal equipment will have to be turned out by the electronic factories of New Jersey, Texas, and Massachusetts. More small arms ammunition will be required from the factories of New Haven and Bridgeport. More projectiles will be needed from the arsenals of Radford and Ravenna. More missiles will have to be supplied by the aircraft plants of Georgia and California. Just as the interests of the entire country are involved in the crisis itself, so the entire country is involved in the preparations necessary to meet the crisis. This is the real meaning of Berlin. It is more than just another twist in the Cold War. It is a sharp heightening of the tension which exists on a world scale between two irreconcilable ways of life. A cloud of apprehension has darkened the sky. The threat of a tornado cannot be ignored. All essential steps must be taken to prepare for it.
While we rely on our nuclear weapons, we also, as I said, want to have a choice between humiliation and a Holocaust. And therefore, we believe that calling these men up and their willingness to serve increase the chance of maintaining the peace. There are countries where leaders have talked very strongly about standing firm in various areas, but do not have the military force to support that statement. We require it. The United States is the strongest power and the leader of the free world, and as such, we must have the power to make our commitments good. These men who may be serving in a very cold and windy camp in Fort Lewis in Washington, therefore, are rendering the same kind of service to our country that an airplane standing on a 15-minute alert at a SAC base in Omaha is rendering. We call them in order to prevent a war, not to fight a war. And if our efforts to hold the peace should fail, then, of course, they would be used in a more direct way. But their function today is to indicate that the United States is serious about its commitments, that it means to meet its commitments, that it wants to negotiate a peaceful settlement if it can, but it does not propose to surrender.